Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Darlington Nkwazi. In this video, I'm going to show you how to add the status bar action, the word wrap action, and the font action. So in the previous video, I showed you how to add the zoom actions. All right, we worked on the view menu, and specifically we worked on the zoom in action, the zoom out action, and the restore default zoom action. What we're going to do in this video is work on the status bar action, and from there we'll go to the format menu and work on the word wrap action and the font action. All right, so basically in the last video we did something like this. We added the zoom feature. So if I come here and click zoom in, you see that the font increases. Okay, and I can keep doing that. Notice that it's also been updated on the status bar here. I can go on, and I can also zoom out. Okay, you can see here it's reducing also if you check the status bar. Okay, and I can also come here and restore default zoom, and that restores the what's it called, the font to the default size. All right, so what we want to do now is work on the status bar action, and then from there we'll move to the format menu and work on the word wrap action and the font action. So let's cancel this. So what we'll do now is come here and we'll say self.status bar action dot set checkable, and we want this to be true. All right, and we'll come down here and say self.status bar action dot triggered dot connect, and I'll say this should be self dot toggle status bar. All right, so I'll just come down and create this method. So I'll come here and I'll say def toggle status bar, and I'll say self. And what I want to happen basically is if the status bar action is checked, I want the status bar to be visible. Okay, so if somebody clicks the status bar action and the status bar is already visible, I want it to be hidden. All right, so I'll come here and say if self.status bar dot is visible, then I want it to be hidden. So I'll say self.status bar dot hide, and I'll say self.status bar action. That's for the status bar action. Now I want it to be unchecked. Okay, so if the status bar is hidden, I want the status bar action to be unchecked. So I'll say set checked, and I'll say false. All right, and I'll just copy this paste it here and change this to else. So this is basically going to be the opposite of this. So I'll just come here and say this should be true, while this is show instead of hide. All right. So I'll come here and I'll say Python main.py to run it. And if I hit enter and I go to the view menu and I just to confirm, you can see that the status bar action is visible now. Okay. If I click the status bar action, it disappears. All right. So now you can see that the status bar is unchecked. But if I click it again, you can see that it's now visible. And if I go back to the view menu, it's now checked. Okay, so it's checked and status bar is visible. If I click it again, the status bar disappears. All right, so our code is working. I'll cancel this. So that's for the status bar action. So for the word wrap action, we'll just come up here and we'll make it checkable. So say self.word wrap action dot set checkable, and we want this to be true. All right, this is supposed to be self. Okay, now we'll go down and we'll come here and say self dot word wrap action dot triggered dot connect, and we want this to be self dot word wrap action clicked. All right, so what we'll do now is create this method. So we'll come down here, we'll say def word wrap action, and we'll say self, and then we'll come here and say if self dot word wrap action is checked, we want to set a line wrap. So we'll say self dot plain text edit dot set line wrap mode, and we'll say Qt widgets dot q plain text edit dot line wrap mode, and we want this to be widget width. All right, and we'll save it. So this is supposed to be in capital letter plain text edit. Okay, so we'll save it, and then we'll come down here and say else let's just copy the whole of this and paste it here. But this time we'll say this should be no wrap. Okay. So if I save it and run it, let's see what happens. Okay, so if I go to the format menu now, let's first type something here. So we could just type the book is on the table, and we'll just copy it and paste it randomly. Currently there's no wrap. Okay. And we go to the format menu and we select the word wrap action. We click the word wrap action. You can see that it has now wrapped the text. And it is now checked. Okay, but if I uncheck it, you can see it has gone back to how it was before. Okay, so our code is working properly. We'll cancel this now and work on the font action. So let's cancel this. For the font action, we'll just come up here again and this time we'll say self dot font action dot triggered dot connect, and we want this to be self dot font dialog. Okay, so we want a font dialog box to be displayed when we click the font action. So let's create this method now. So we'll come here, we'll come down here and create this method. So we'll say def font dialog and we'll say self, and then we'll come down here and say font. This is a tuple, so we'll say Qt widgets dot q font dialog dot get font, and we'll say if underscore then self dot plain text edit dot set font, and then we'll say font. Okay, so if I save this now and run it, and I type something like the book is on the table again, and I go to the format menu and click the font action, you can see the font dialog box. All right, let's see if we can change the font. I could change this to, let's change this to Roman and let's make it bold. Okay, you see that there are several options here. Okay, if we hit OK now, you can see the font has changed. The book is on the table. All right. I could change it to something else. I could change it to let's use this one. Script empty bold, and let's increase the font size also. So if I click OK, you can see the font has changed. So that's where we're going to stop. In the next video, we're going to work on the edit menu. Thanks and see you next time.